time is 6:15. Here is the news edited by Dulmin Samrasingha, read by Victor Raj. First, take a look at the headlines of the local news. The 12th National War Heroes Day commemorated under the patronage of the President. The government plans to allocate 75% of the jobs at Colombo Port City to Sri Lankans. 900,000 AstraZeneca vaccines are expected in the country by next month. Essential medical equipment handed over to health authorities by Australia with UNICEF. Arrival terminals of the Katunaik and Mattala international airports will be closed from the 21st Friday midnight. Foreign news. Concerns expressed over black fungus drug shortage as COVID cases rise. Sports news. European Swimming Championships. Adam Piatti wins 4th successive 100-meter breaststroke title. Local news in detail. The war heroes of the Army, Navy, Air Force, Police and the Civil Security Department sacrificed their lives for the country's sovereignty, territorial integrity and independence were commemorated with floral tributes in the afternoon today on the 12th National War Heroes Day near Battaramulla National War Heroes Monument. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, dignitaries and war veterans attended the ceremony. Relatives of all fallen heroes joined the commemorative event. This year's 12th National War Heroes Day commemoration ceremony, organized by the Rana Veru Seva Authority, adhering to strict health guidelines, began at 4:30 p.m. with the arrival of the President. 23,962 Army, 1,160 Navy, 443 Air Force, 2,598 police officers and 456 Civil Security Department personnel, a total of 28,619 war heroes who made this supreme sacrifice in the fight against LTT terrorism before May 2009 were respectfully remembered by all peace-loving ethnicities in Sri Lanka for their gallantry, invaluable and selfless dedication during this national ceremony. Deputy Director General of Health Ministry, Dr. S.M. Arnold, says that it is not suitable for a person who received AstraZeneca vaccine first to get Sinopharm vaccine as a second dose. He mentioned this during a media briefing today at the Health Promotion Bureau. Dr. Arnold requested the public to pay attention on getting the second dose of the vaccine according to the first vaccine received. Minister Prasanna Ranatunga says that Sri Lanka will get 900,000 AstraZeneca Covishield vaccine doses by June. The minister said that the discussions to obtain the vaccine doses were successful. At present, 1,397,999 have been given the first dose and 300,121 have been given the second dose of the vaccine. Arrival terminals of the Katunaik and Mattala international airports will be closed from 21st Friday midnight to 31st Monday midnight. However, the Civil Airline Services Authority said that services will be provided as planned for the airline passengers who were leaving the country. The authority further said that all services will be maintained for airlines that transport goods during this time. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Now, EPF information and services through an SMS from HDFC Bank.
Continuing with more local news, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says that arrangements are being made to allocate 75% of the jobs at the Colombo Port City to Sri Lankans. Expressing his views in Parliament today, the Prime Minister said that regulations in this regard will be introduced soon. The Prime Minister said that the Commission will be allowed to relax conditions only when there are no Sri Lankans with specific skills. He said the majority members of the Colombo Port City Economic Commission and chairman should be Sri Lankans. A stock of essential medical equipment including oxygen cylinders was handed over to the health authority to this morning with the financial assistance of the Australian government and the coordination of the UNICEF. The equipment has been handed over to the Health Minister Pavitra Vanyarachi with the aim of strengthening Sri Lanka's COVID control process. UNICEF Sri Lanka resident representative Emma Brigman made a token donation at their main office in Colombo to Minister Vanyarachi in the presence of Australian High Commissioner David Hawley and UN Resident Coordination Hannah Singer Hamdi. Expressing her views, Health Minister Pavitra Vanyarachi thanked the Australian government and its people and the UNICEF for the donation. Representation of Sri Lankan migrant workers kept in the detention centres in Riyadh and Jeddah has been completed, with the last batch of 103 detainees having returned to Sri Lanka in the Saudi Airlines today. This is the last leg of the repatriation process initiated by the Embassy of Sri Lanka in April 2021. With this latest arrival, a total of 180 individuals, 49 females and 131 males have been brought back to Sri Lanka. Since July 2020, 334 Sri Lankan deportees have returned to Sri Lanka from Saudi Arabia. The Public Diplomacy Division of the Foreign Ministry said this repatriation process of deportation camp inmates is a result of an ongoing collaboration between the Saudi authorities and Sri Lankan Embassy in Riyadh and the Consulate General in Jeddah. The University Grants Commission says that accepting of applications to admit students to the universities for 2020-2021 academic year will commence on 21st of May. Applications of students who sat for the GCSE Advanced Level Examination last year should be sent online to University Grants Commission. Applications will be accepted until the 11th of June. That ends local news.
දැන් HDFC බැංකුවෙන් EPF ණයතොරතුරු හා සේවාවන් SMS එකකින්
රාජ්‍ය හා පෞද්ගලිකංශයේ රැකියාවේ නියුතු ඔබ කොහේ සිටියත් EPF ණයතොරතුරු හා සේවාවන් ලබා ගැනීම සඳහා කළ යුත්තේ EPF හිස්තැනක් නම හා ප්‍රදේශය සඳහන් කර 071-800-999ට SMS එකක් එවීම පමණයි.
HDFC බැංකුව ඔබ අප සුරකින්න බැංකුව.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The Ministry of Health and Information and Communication Technology Agency have jointly initiated a new program to streamline Sri Lanka's COVID-19 inoculation drive. A new website has been created for people to register themselves to get vaccinated against novel coronavirus. The relevant website, expected to be launched within the next 2 days, will allow people to schedule an appointment date, time and vaccination center to receive the COVID-19 jab. In addition, people will be able to obtain an internationally valid COVID-19 vaccination certificate through this program. That came to you on Main News Story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa. Moving on to Watchlight, the Ministry of Agriculture announced today that all economic centres across the country will remain closed when island-wide travel restrictions come into effect later this week. Accordingly, operations at economic centres will be suspended from 21st May to 24th May. However, all economic centres as well as the Manning Market in Paliaguda will remain open from 4 a.m. to 11 p.m. on 25th May.
The centres will remain closed again from 26th May to 28th May, while travel restrictions are enforced next week. Travel permits will be issued to allow lorries to transport vegetables and fruits to those establishments on 24th and 25th May. That ends Watchlight. Moving on to world news, let's take a look at the headlines. Concerns expressed over the black fungus drug shortage as COVID cases rise. Singapore says no truth to Delhi Chief Minister's new variant claims. Japan pulls controversial asylum seeker bill after criticism. World news in detail. An antifungal drug used in the treatment of the rare infection called mucormycosis or black fungus is in short supply across in India. Amphotericin B, which is manufactured by many Indian firms, is also on sale on the black market. There are many emergency appeals on social media for the drug as mucormycosis cases rise. Doctors say the infection could be triggered by the use of steroids in several severely ill COVID patients. Singapore's government has said there is no truth to an assertion by the Delhi Chief Minister that a new variant of the coronavirus has been detected in the city-state. Delhi's Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal had called for the halt to flights, saying a new Singapore strain was extremely dangerous for children. He added that it could result in a third wave of the infection in India. Singapore's Ministry of Health has reacted strongly to the claims. Japan's government has withdrawn a controversial immigration bill after mounting public criticism. Debate over the bill had in part been sparked by the recent death of a young Sri Lankan woman held in an immigration detention facility. The bill would have made it easier to deport failed asylum seekers and given more power to immigration authorities. Japan has significantly lower rate of the accepting asylum seekers than other developed countries. To wrap up the world news, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Concerns expressed over black fungus drug shortage as COVID cases rise. Singapore says no truth to Delhi Chief Minister's new variant claims. Japan pulls controversial asylum seeker bill after criticism. That ends world news. Moving on to development news. The construction activities of the Bandar Naik International Airport Terminal 2 development project, which was told has commenced despite the challenges of the COVID-19 global pandemic. Airport and Aviation Services Sri Lanka commenced the construction of the BIA Terminal 2 in December 2020, and the construction activities are underway. The total cost of the project is $550 million, and the funding is from the Japan International Cooperation Agency. That came to you on Development News.
Sports News is brought to you by...
When Aya bought a motorbike, he bought 2 helmets. So sweet of him. I'm sure the other one is for me.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others. When we get Munchie Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves. Munchie Super Cream Cracker. Super kiyanne nikan neve.
British Olympic champion Adam Pearce secured his 4th successive European 100-meter breaststroke title with the commanding performance in the Budapest. Pearce finished in 57.66 seconds to take victory at the European Aquatic Championships, ahead of second-placed Dutchman Arno Kaminga, with Britain's James Wilby in third. Uncapped Gloucestershire batsman James Bracey and the Sussex seamer Ollie Robinson have been included in England's 15-man squad for 2 tests against New Zealand, which begin on 2nd of June. There is also a recall for Somerset's Craig Overton, who last played in 2019. Josh Butler, Chris Walkers, Sam Curran, Moeen Ali and Johnny Bairstow have been left out after only recently returning from the Indian Premier League. That ends sports news.
My wife always sets a full lunch table, even if it's just the 2 of us. She always expects people to drop by, like maybe the army.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others. When we get Munchie Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves. Munchie Super Cream Cracker. Super kiyanne nikan neve.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
The Singapore Group has announced a post-tax profit of 2.61 billion rupees for 2020-21 from 427.27 million rupees achieved in the previous year. The group also reported a profit before tax of 3.82 billion rupees, a six-fold increase compared to the 2020-21. Singapore Group's revenue increased by 23% to 67.41 billion rupees, reflecting a strong growth across key products categories across all channels. That ends Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Sri Lanka's manufacturing and services activities slowed down in April in line with the seasonal pattern, but the COVID-19 third wave lockdowns and other restrictions appear to be putting a serious damper on the expectations for the next 3 months compared to the previous month. Accordingly, manufacturing contracted to 44.3 in April with a decline of 22.7 index points from March 2021. That ends Economic News.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue in partnership with the Ministry of Education introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
The Met Department says showery condition over southwestern part of the island and the windy condition over northern and northwestern provinces are likely to enhance during next few days. Showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamu, central and northwestern provinces and in the Gol and Mathura districts. Fairly heavy falls above 50 mm can be expected at some places in the western and Sabaragamu provinces and in the Gol and Mathura districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at a few places in the eastern and Uva provinces during the evening or night. That ends Weather Report.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue in partnership with the Ministry of Education introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
A recap of headlines to wrap up the evening news broadcast on Radio Sri Lanka. The 12th National War Heroes Day commemorated under the patronage of the President. The government plans to allocate 75% of the jobs at Colombo Port City to Sri Lankans. 900,000 AstraZeneca vaccines are expected to the country by next month. Essential medical equipment headed over to health authorities by Australia with UNICEF. Arrival terminals of the Katunaika and Mathala international airports will be closed from the 21st Friday midnight. Foreign news, concerns expressed over black fungus during shortage as COVID cases rise. Sports, European Swimming Championships. Adam Peaty wins 4th successive 100-meter breaststroke title. That ends the evening news broadcast on Radio Sri Lanka.